do it by hand?
Yeah.
Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to a new video. Today we're going to be decorating. I'm going to be setting a spring tablescape. Also going to be sharing a really easy and yummy homemade cinnamon roll recipe. And we're just gonna spend the next little while together just enjoying the beautiful season of new beginnings and just all the goodness that spring brings. I'm excited to share this video. I hope you enjoy spending time with me. First thing we're gonna do is head into the kitchen and I'm gonna share this delicious cinnamon roll recipe. I make this recipe a few times a year and it is a family favorite. It's so delicious, and although it is a from scratch recipe, it really is quite simple, so I'm excited to share that with you. Also going to be doing a couple loaves of the 1 hour bread that I shared in a recent video. I hope you just enjoy coming into my kitchen and spending this time together. And then we will decorate and set the table, so let's get started in the kitchen. Getting started with the most delicious and simple from scratch cinnamon rolls. This is a recipe I've been making for years and I make it a few times a year. It's definitely a treat. My kids love them. So we're going to activate 1 package of dry yeast with some warm water. So get that off to the side. Then you're going to mix together a 1/4 teaspoon of vanilla, an egg, a teaspoon of salt, a 1/4 cup of melted butter, 4 cups of all-purpose flour, and a 3/4 cup of whole milk, and a 1/4 cup of granulated sugar. I will link the recipe in my description box. It's so easy. You'll see it come together right here. And it's a wonderful recipe. The dough is beautiful and just, I love working with it. So I'm just gonna mix this together, and my mixer decided to go the kaplunk on me. So I did it by hand, but I actually really enjoyed it.
Feel the palm.
Yeah. Yeah.
When did you start reading it?
It's taking me about 10 minutes because I don't have my mixer. That's okay. It's nice to do it by hand.
Yeah, and you're getting a workout from me.
That's right. My helper and I mixed everything together, and then we sat the dough to the side to rise for 2 hours, and then we're gonna go ahead and roll it out. And I just add a little bit of butter to the bottom of the bowl so that the dough comes out perfectly. And you're gonna wanna roll this to about 9 by 13, just as best as you can to keep it in a rectangle shape, but honestly, it's such a forgiving recipe, so don't even worry. And then we're going to add the filling to the top. And for that, it's 1/3 cup of unsalted butter. And you're going to mix on top of that 3/4 cup of brown sugar, a 1/4 cup of granulated sugar. And I always do 2 tablespoons of ground cinnamon. Then you're just gonna go ahead and roll the long side away from you as tight as you can, just to create that really yummy center in the cinnamon roll that we all love. And then you're just going to cut half. So cut the dough in half and then in half again, and just keep repeating that process until you have about 1-inch cuts of cinnamon rolls. And then you're going to place them in a well-greased, I just used a little bit of grass-fed butter, a well-greased pan, and you're gonna let that rise for another hour. This is the last rise, and then they will be ready to be baked off and we'll make the glaze. But while they were rising, I am going to be decorating the table, setting a beautiful spring tablescape that is so simple and really inexpensive. So hopefully this inspires your creativity today and you enjoy decorating with me. The first thing I did was lay down these beautiful rattan chargers that I found at a thrift store last year. I really enjoyed using them last spring and summer and happy to bring them back out again. And then I pulled together just a couple things that I had around the house. This beautiful pitcher that I also thrifted and painted with a little bit of baking powder and paint, which I'm going to show you that technique here in just a little bit, and baby's breath. And I love using baby's breath to decorate with. It's such an inexpensive flower and so beautiful. It's just simple, and I don't know, I really just enjoy the beauty of the green with the crisp white. So I'm just going ahead and adding a few of the real baby's breath to this faux bunch of flowers that I have from Dollar Tree, just to make it look more full and real. And now we are going to do some DIYing, just a quick little DIY. I found these candlesticks at my local thrift store for just a couple of dollars. I loved the shape of them, but knew I wanted to make them a little bit more neutral and also change the finish. So really simply, I just took the paint color of my choice and mixed it with about 3 tablespoons of baking powder. You want your paint to be like a thick, foamy consistency. Then you're just going to paint whatever it is that you want to change the color to. So I'm adding 2 coats of this paint to the candlesticks. And what I love about this paint is it's so forgiving and just creates the most beautiful clay-like finish. So went ahead and painted those, and I'm going to use them on the table with these beautiful candles that I found at Michael's. They have dried flowers in them. They're so beautiful and perfect for spring and summer. I love incorporating the food into my tablescape. So you're going to see I'm going to add some bright fruit, different plates, things like that, just to kind of bring everything together. So I am going to be using this basket for my homemade bread. So I'm just decorating it around the edges. I laid a tea towel and I'm just putting a couple of the springs of the baby's breath. I just loved how this turned out. Again, so simple, but I hope that this inspires you in your creativity. We don't need to make things elaborate. We can use simple things that we have to really create beautiful tables for us to enjoy with our family and friends. Now I'm just layering in. I felt like it needed a little bit more greenery. So I'm layering in some beautiful eucalyptus. These are faux eucalyptus. I've had these for years. They're just from IKEA. And now I'm just going around the table and setting it, and you'll notice I used a couple extra tumblers just to put some baby's breath with some water around the table as well. And yeah, I'm just setting the table, and then we're going to pull it all together. I also forgot to mention that the plates that I'm using are from Dollar Tree. They have those all the time. So if you love the pattern, which I think they're very pretty for this time of year, then definitely go check out Dollar Tree. They were very inexpensive. So here is the table before we add all of the food and the serving dishes. So simple and pretty. I love hosting. I love having people around the table, and it's definitely something that I will never take for granted again after the last couple of years. But that is the before, and then I'll show you how it looked at the end, just to kind of give you an example of using different plates and serving dishes and bringing in different colored foods, how it can really, really pull a table all together. But I'm just doing a couple loaves of the 1 hour bread that I shared a couple videos ago. I'll link the recipe in my description box. I can't wait to start using the sourdough. And then it was also time to bake the cinnamon rolls in the oven as well. Bake those at 350 for about 30 minutes. While those were baking, I went ahead and set the table. I added some bright fruit, some grapes, and some strawberries. I also added some old cheddar on this beautiful cutting board. I used a mix of white dishes as well as wood serving dishes. Also made some pancakes and added our beautiful 1 hour bread and some bacon. And this was the tablescape. I did eggs to order, really simple, and such just a beautiful day spent with family. Then I went ahead and made the glaze for the cinnamon rolls. which is just a 1/4 cup of cream cheese at room temperature, a tablespoon of butter, 1 1/4 cups of powdered sugar, and 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla extract. Give that a good blend and then put that on top while the cinnamon rolls are nice and warm, and it's so delicious. That is going to do it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it inspired your creativity. I'm so grateful that you spent this time with me, and I look forward to seeing you all in my next video. Bye everyone.